Wave's Vocal Rider is one of those plugins that's got a reputation for being kind of like cheating when it comes to automating. But in this clip, Adam's gonna show you how powerful of a tool it is and what a time saver it can be. He uses Vocal Rider to write automation on the lead guitars to lessen the dynamic range in a supernatural way that sits on top of the mix, almost like a vocal would. Check it out and maybe give it a shot in your next instrumental mix.
It still feels a little dynamic, which works out perfectly because we have Vocal Rider. I feel like this is the only time I reach for Vocal Rider is like a low gain tone that I want to be visible without like going nuts with automation or compressing it. Seems like a good middle ground. But yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's set to off because I already let it just do its thing. You set it to write mode and you just let the guy draw on that automation lane there. So this is just simply displaying what it did do, but since it's set to off, it's not actually like doing anything. So it's just simply a visual representation of that automation lane there. Yeah, and then I did do a pan automation there, just so you get your center, and then as soon as two come in, I didn't want them to stack directly on top, just a slight pan outward. If I did like the hard left and right pan, it'd sound a little weird because they're basically what you need to pay attention to. So that's when I would do just slight pans, enough to separate the two parts. All right, let's see what else we have on the... Oh, if I didn't mention though, this is what the Vocal Rider's on is a summing of these two tracks that are dueling here. So yeah, getting rid of that top. Felt nice to subdue the highs in the verse a little bit. That another redundant thing. It's cool to see these things and see what you tried to do and what you can do different. This is another time where I would just probably take that soothe thing that I did on my solo and just have it address 1,000 and below. I can just go ahead and do that again real fast. Or maybe just drag it over. I lost a little volume there. So probably going to sound pretty different when I take all this out. Just felt pretty like almost like roomy and a little weird.
Can we talk a little bit about Vocal Rider?
I always thought it was a cool concept, and when a high gain solo is usually like, it's like flatter, like a rhythm guitar, dynamically flatter compared to a tone like this. This is when I'm like, okay, it's almost behaving like a vocal because a vocalist doesn't naturally sing everything perfectly even. You need to compress it. So I just thought, or you mean automate it cleverly. So instead of like touching the tone, I just experimented with this and actually just immediately was stoked with what it was doing. So figured why not use it and just like write that automation out. People probably compressed it, or maybe I could have sat there and it is was a trial and error thing at the time. It's like, let's see if this actually can ride it. Like, because then I was like, in my mind, I was like breaking the rules. Like, but then obviously the more you interact with other mixers, you're like, there's no rules. But at the time, I'm like, oh, this is so bad of me. He's a vocal rider. What are you thinking?